On the Late Late Show many times, and he's headlining at Go Bananas Comedy Club tonight and tomorrow. But first, he's going to join us in studio this morning. Paul, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me back.
And I'd love to tell us to talk to people like yourself, who've had such radical departures from what they prepared for in life, and how things actually turned out. Investment banker, attorney, comedian. Ordinarily, it doesn't go in that order.
Look at his face. You let me down.
Well, I could hear your dad talking.
Yeah. What's funny, you know, I didn't plan on it. I was doing corporate law in New York City. Started writing jokes as a hobby. Get to meet Jay Leno at a private function. I give him my jokes. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I'm never going to use them. And he takes them. And he's like, okay. He really does talk like that, helium out of a balloon very slowly. He's like, and then he takes them, and a couple of days later, my phone rings. Jay Leno, is Paul there? Now, I thought it was my friend David pulling a prank, pretending to be Jay Leno. So I went, yeah, right. Yeah, really funny, David. He goes, no, really, it's Jay Leno. I go, yeah. He goes, no. And I actually said to Jay Leno, you do a lousy Jay Leno.
That'll get you booked.
Exactly. He goes, no, it's really me. I'm like, yeah, it's the worst Jay Leno. I'm like, oh my God. And he said, I'll hire you to send jokes in for the Tonight Show model. If I use one of them, I'll pay you $50 a joke. A week later, he calls me, I'm going to do one of your jokes. He does one of my jokes on the Tonight Show. It was like a narcotic, I bet. Oh, it was crazy. And so then eventually, I left to do it full time, and then a year into leaving, I got audited by the IRS. And the guy goes to me, I see you had a lot of income and then you have like no income. What happened? And I go, well, I was a lawyer and investment banker and I left to be a comedian. And he looks at me and goes, yeah, right. What'd you do with the money? I'm like, no, I'm serious. And then I told my family, big Italian family, my parents are high school educated, their son made it. First thing my mother said, I go, Ma, I think I'm going to leave Wall Street to be a comedian. She goes, that better be your first joke, all right?
Yeah, really. Exactly. I mean, because family, man, they exert a lot of pressure in that way.
You know, like it was their depression era. My mother's 93. She's still running her furniture business, and she doesn't want to spend a nickel. So she goes through garbage looking for good garbage, not food, but stuff that's broken that needs to be fixed. I know people out there have it. I swear to God. And then she gives it to Mario, and Mario fixes it. And she found her hearing aid in the garbage, and it's like, and it whistles all the time. So whenever she walks on the street, she's actually attracting packs of dogs. And then you go to my mother's store. She locks people in the store. I go there one day, the door's locked, there's a customer in the store. I go, what happened? She goes, your mother just locked me in the store.
What happened?
My mother had run an errand. She couldn't hear that the woman was in the store, and she locked her in. I go, how long have you been here? The woman goes, 4 hours. I go, what have you been doing? She goes, well, I browsed a lot. She said, I took a nap on that sofa. And she goes, your name Paul? I go, yeah. Well, the phone rang and I took messages. She took messages for me. Now,
the woman who was
locked in the store is taking messages while and napping on the sofa. So I tell my mother later, I'm like, Ma, you can't lock people in the store. My mother's like, oh, I don't know what you're yelling at me about. The woman liked that sofa so much, she took a nap on it, she's going to buy it. I made a sale and I wasn't even in the store.
That's remarkable. That's absolutely remarkable. Paul is going to be at Go Bananas tonight.
2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow night.
And you'll hear all about his family, about raising his child in New York City.
Oh, God.
I know that's going to be a fun story.
I saw a rat running with a whole green apple in its mouth. I'm not kidding you. The rat had the apple was bigger than its head. And you're so jaded living in a big city like that. I was like, good for him. He's eating healthy. You know, he's working out. Had his little Lululemon pants on. He was awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in, man. It is 9:22. We'll be right back.